Yeah, I think the beauty about cycling, or anything for that matter, is that you don't actually need the best gear or the best bike. You literally just need a bike and some gear and you can get going. Like, I've got my Audi helmet, my Audi pump, and this modest alloy bike, but like, it's not holding me back from anything. So just do it, Doesn't matter, not even with cycling, anything. You don't need fabulous gear, just get any gear and just start and let it naturally progress. Welcome back to another ride. Today I'm just heading to the hills for my first ever hill cycle ever. The Perth Hills is notorious for like really nice cycling, and I've obviously got to start practicing with some decent elevation and climbing for my upcoming trip to Central Asia. So I thought, why not do it today? Today's a beautiful day outside. It's currently 10 degrees, but it's going to be a top of 20, which is cool. As per usual, I'm late. I stayed up late watching UFC last night, Jack Della, and sadly he lost, but always back your boy from home. The night before, I actually went to a concert, and I don't know why, but if you go to a concert and then you like get food out afterwards, you end up getting home at 1:30 a.m, which is kind of annoying because then you don't get really good sleep as well. So I'm running off very low sleep the last couple of days. It's about 8:30 right now. This is probably going to take me 6 to 7 hours. Fuck, I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, got to prep all my stuff. Just quickly, I went to Audi the other day to get groceries, and you know that weird little middle section with just a bunch of like random inanimate objects? Well, I saw this helmet, which actually fits my head absolutely perfectly. It's got LED lights on the back. This was $22 or something like that. Absolute bargain, fits so well. And then I got this mini foot pump, which I can't remember how much it was. All up together, both of them were $38. So this would have been like $12 or something. It's got a pressure gauge in it. Absolute bargain if you're wanting to get some cheap biking equipment. Head to your local Audi and have a look there. Because the problem with cycling is that it's just blown out of proportion in terms of the pricing for the products that they sell. I just think so many like old, rich, retired people want to keep active and they're like, oh, we'll just start cycling. But I actually want all the best shit. And then it ends up just fucking blowing everything's prices way out of proportion. Everything's super expensive. So there's nothing wrong with stuff from Audi, but this is what the pump looks like, a little foot pump. So I'm gonna use this now. Just a quick question as well, and I'd love to know in the comments, do you care if your bike gets scratched? Because obviously people resell bikes on Marketplace quite a lot, and they write like no scratches, no blemishes on the frame, which to be honest, I personally don't care about if there's like some small scratches or whatever. It's just like a part of the character of the bike. But obviously people actively try to avoid that. Just wondering if you do. Like, I think I've just rubbed it on the brick just the slightest bit, which I'm not bothered about, but I'm wondering if other people would be, if that's something that they would be bothered about. Better CPR, staying alive, the BG. Nice, that was way quicker than my usual hand pump. Audi, something like $12, absolute bargain. But in all seriousness, this helmet with no hat on fits snug. It's almost like they made it for my obscurely sized head, which to be honest, I think is an average-ish sized, maybe above average sized head. But it literally fits perfectly. It's super light and it's really comfortable. All right, so just before I take off, the plan is Rockingham, Waikiki, off to the freeway. Then I'll take the Farrington exit off there. And then from there, that'll essentially take me to the hills. I'm gonna tackle this big hill climb, which is apparently intense as. So that'll be good to get stuck into about 50, 60 kilometers in. Then I'll do the famous ZigZag ride down, and then I'll basically just head back home. So it should be interesting. It's about 8:45 right now when I'm leaving. So yeah, I'm gonna hit the road. All right, so I'm onto the freeway now, heading northbound to the Perth City, and then I'll get off at the Farrington exit. Does anybody warm up when they cycle? I personally don't, and even when I run and stuff like that, I just do some plyometrics, like low level
extensive plyometrics for a little bit and then I just start running. But with cycling, I don't warm up, but it takes me 20 minutes or so of cycling to actually have the legs feeling somewhat nice and the body feeling somewhat good. So I'm just curious as to whether anybody actually warms up before cycling. All right, I don't know if you can see, but here is this park I somewhat used to live near, and they're playing a game of cricket in May. I know it's not cricket season, but basically the local Indians, Pakistani people, Sri Lankans, all kind of get together and create their own league, which is really, really sick. I always used to see them at the nets practicing. Like, they offered me, if I wanted to come play a couple of games with them, which I never took up the offer, but it would have been cool. And I really like that sense of community surrounded by like physical activity. I reckon it's awesome and really important, and that's basically why we started SJ's community. Shameless plug, baby, shameless plug. Check it out if you're interested. I just really think there needs to be more sense of community here, especially in Western Australia. Running clubs are a big thing now, which, don't get me wrong, is cool, but what about, you know, sports, team sports, climbing, sprinting? We have a sprint club, some other stuff excluding running, just in case somebody doesn't like running. But then as well, not to mention that there's a lot of cycling groups all around the joint. Even in our town, Rockingham, there's 2 or 3 big cycling groups that are out every Saturday morning, possibly every Sunday morning too, which is really cool. But I just think you can't understate how important a sense of community is, along with physical activity. I reckon it's really important. All right, that first bit of the ride was quite cold. I know I said it was 10 degrees when I started, but the sun was out, so I just assumed that the sun would provide a bit of heat. But no, the hands are really cold, nose, as always, really cold, which really puts into perspective how important it is coming into winter, having the right equipment, as in like some gloves, and even one of those like face scarf, face shield things to give the nose a bit of warmth. First feed of the day, 3 snakes. I think I'm like an hour 20 in, maybe close to 30 kilometers. It's usually every hour, but I just completely forgot because I'm having so much damn fun. All right, so we're in Coburn, and on this big square thing with the artwork on it, there used to be on either side, this side, a photo of a man, and the other side, the photo of a woman. It was basically like a passport / mugshot type photo. Super, super strange, but also interesting as well, because like, why was it there? And essentially the story behind it was, from my belief, from what I've been told, is that they got all the people that lived in Coburn or in like a specific area or a suburb and morphed their faces together to create a combination of all of them in one face. And I really hate that it's not there anymore. I used to think it was stupid because let's be honest, in reality, the logic behind it is kind of stupid. Why would that be there? But at the same time, at the same token, it added like some sort of character to Coburn, which I really liked. And I think we're missing that character in these outer suburbs. Like, yeah, you got it in Freo, you get some of it in Northbridge, but not necessarily in these outer city suburbs. And that's why I think it's really good. Like, you'd see that kind of shit in Berlin, for example, and you go, oh, that's pretty like artsy, that's pretty interesting, which is why I really think they should have kept it here. But nonetheless, there's a bit of a Perth history for you. All right, so we're officially off the freeway heading north, and we're now on Farrington heading towards Roe Highway. So basically from now we're heading inland towards the hills. And from now on, this is all completely unfamiliar territory for me on the bike. Obviously I've been down these roads, been to these places, never on a set of wheels like this, so it should be pretty interesting. I just had to stop into a toilet quickly before I start the rest of my journey. Parked my bike up here, and some guy actually came over and gave me a compliment on it, which is cool because it's a modest bike. It's nothing flash, it's nothing expensive, but yeah, it was nice. Yeah, I think the beauty about cycling, or anything for that matter, is that you don't actually need the best gear or the best bike. You literally just need a bike and some gear and you can get going. Like, I've got my Audi helmet, my Audi pump,
and this modest alloy bike, but like it's not holding me back from anything. So just do it. Doesn't matter. Not even with cycling, anything. You don't need fabulous gear. Just get any gear and just start and let it naturally progress. All right, so that's the little suburban area done. Here is Roe Highway on the way to Welshpool. A little bit of Bankshire. Anyway, nonetheless, bit of ADHD brain going on. We're going on this direction for quite a while, I believe, till we reach Tonkin Highway. After my brain having a few technical difficulties, there's been a bit of a change of plans. It just makes more sense to go to Maida Vale and basically go up Gooseberry Hill from there, which is apparently still a stupid climb. So I'm just gonna commit to that. All right, so I'm in a bit of a predicament as a cyclist, because let's face it, I'm a cyclist now, I do this often. I really don't wanna get a bike computer, like a Garmin, for example. However, the more I ride, the more logical it is to just get one in terms of helping with directions, maps, things like that, instead of having to grab my phone so often. When I'm on the bike, I really like it as a mindfulness thing. I really enjoy jumping on the saddle and just riding for hours and not necessarily having to think about stuff. But then when I do these new routes, I'm always checking my phone to see where to go on maps and stuff like that. The problem I have is that I don't want to lose that mindfulness part of the cycling that I really enjoy. However, I do want to streamline and make my cycling more logical, especially when I'm cycling new routes. So I think I'm going to bite the bullet and get one. And then I'm just going to have to figure out how to kind of navigate that myself. All right, so about 2:20, 2 hours 30 in, and I'm at this fork in the road, Welshpool Road, where I can go east and head to Lesmurdy, which I think will take longer, but there's less climbing, and that will take me to Crystal Brook Road. However, going straight to Maida Vale is more direct, but the climb up Gooseberry Hill is way worse, and I like the sounds of that. So I'm just gonna have a quick feed. Actually, I'll jump on the saddle, eat while I'm going, and yeah, get ready for that. Because like I said, I got this big trip coming up, which is just mountains and hills. And I've also never really done hills cycling. A little bit in Slovenia, that's it. So what a perfect opportunity to start now. Should be fun. So if you look ahead, you can see the Perth Hills in the background. That's pretty much where I'm going. Very modest hills, nothing huge, nothing big or anything like that, but it is Perth Hills. This is a very common animal we see in Perth. It's called a blue-tongued lizard, and it's because they have a somewhat blue tongue. Sometimes they stick it out when they're like scared. Obviously this brother's all right, so leave him be. Decently fat. This could be legit completely made up, but I was told the really fat ones a lot of the time are the women, and a lot of skinny ones a lot of the time are the males. Female and male, sorry. All right, so this is the end of the path, the Roe Highway cycle path, I believe. Or at least this is where I end at the Maida Vale Road. Now I'm heading east, which apparently just sucks. I've checked it up on maps. I'll have a quick check again and talk to you about it, but apparently it sucks. All right, so Gooseberry Hill says it's 5.3 kilometers to get to the top where ZigZag is, and 250 meters of climbing, which personally I don't feel like that sounds like a lot, but personally I don't know what like a lot of climbing is in cycling terms. Maybe I'm being kind of thrown off by the fact that it's 5 kilometers with 250 meters of climbing. Yeah, but I'm gonna give it a crack anyway. I reckon it's gonna rock my shit, evidently. Got to climb a hill, but it should also be fun. You got to think about it in layman's terms, you know, it's just 27 minutes of just sheer discomfort, and then you get that delayed gratification, which is, I believe, the most important part of life. All right, there it is. I'm gonna get my shit rocked now.
Should be fun. Let me have a look around this corner. Ah, it looks all right so far, it's fine. You can see the climb starts just up there where those cars are at the roundabout. It's always really pleasing to just see a great deal of discomfort and pain from like quite a while away that you know you're gonna have to approach and tackle head on. Gives you that little bit of suspenseful build up. But I'll probably chuck the camera back on halfway through when I'm dying.
2 minutes later.
Oh yeah, this is 100% arse. It doesn't look very steep at all, but it is. I'm literally probably only 2 to 3 minutes in and it's just not, yeah, it's hard. Just reminds me that I have to start doing hills a bit more. I'm barely moving. I'm moving so slow. Oh, that is this is gonna be so hard. All right, this is probably the steepest part so far, which still doesn't look that steep, but it is quite steep. Like if you stop pedaling, you'll fall. Still dying, but nice car. See this part up here where those cars are coming down? You can just tell that part's gonna be absolutely fabulous. So far, so good though. Like in reality, you just gotta make sure you work the gears really well and make sure you keep pedaling, because if you can just keep on pedaling, irregardless of how fast or slow, you're fine. You just gotta keep pushing essentially. I tell you what, there's some beautiful houses around this area. I'd show you with the camera, but just barely hanging in there. It's the only problem. But yeah, I really love driving around this area and looking at all the looking. Whew. I really love driving around this area in the hills and looking at the houses. But on bike, it's also nice too. The first time seeing it on bike. I think I'm almost done. Nice, got up the main part of Gooseberry, so now I've got like a nice little descend towards ZigZag, a bit of speed, which is nice after a big climb. Probably the most pace I've had the whole ride today, which is really nice. Nothing better than some good pace on a downhill on the bike. Love it. Fuck, I'd love to know how fast I'm going right now, because I feel like I'm going pretty fast. All right, here we are, ZigZag Scenic Drive. Apparently this road's closed a lot of the time to vehicles. It's like a nice narrow road, obviously. Fun fact, I've literally never been on this road. This is the first time ever. I've been like up there and around, but I've never been on this road. Apparently it's the best spot in Perth to check out the stars and also a good sunset spot. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. There's Perth City in the distance. And the best thing about a climb, a really hard climb, is that usually it's a really nice descent on the way down. You don't need a pedal, you can just chill out, relax, and kind of enjoy the ride, which I'm doing right now. That's it. That was ZigZag. It was actually pretty nice. I'm yawning because of how like peaceful and nice it was up there. The little gradual descent is really nice as well. Yeah, if I had more time, I'd run it back right now and bomb that Gooseberry Hill back up again. But I think I got a ride home right now, which is like 60 kilometers home. So better get cracking.
3 hours later.
Oh my God, finally. Fucking hell. Oh, that was a slog. Oh man, that last effort was a slog.
After I finished the ZigZag and went like down the entire descent, I was feeling really good, but I'm not sure if it was because of adrenaline and like the feeling of happiness from how good it was. But yeah, bonked so bad on the way home. I mean, it wasn't too bad. Like, I still continued the whole way, but yeah, I bonked pretty bad. For the ride itself, ZigZag and the hills, my first time there, I reckon it's absolutely awesome. Definitely going to get back there ASAP. But I think if you do decide to go, probably ride there and then do all the hills and then go to High Wycombe and catch the train home. Because once you're at the hills, you kind of want to get the most benefit and most bang for your buck as you can from them. So you best just get a fair few kilometers in up in the hills, and then you can just catch the train home wherever instead of getting unnecessary kilometers going back home. Like for me, example, I had to ride 65, 70 kilometers home from there. But it was really good. If I was a genuinely good bloke, I'd actually clean my bike up and store it nicely in the house, but I'm too tired and lazy right now, so I'm just gonna do it another day. Thanks for watching. I think it ended up being like 142 kilometers or something like that. And Gooseberry Hill is no joke, seriously. That hill comes with a threatening aura. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you did enjoy the video and you want to see more stuff like this. And if you want to see me do any rides in Perth or anywhere, shoot it below in the comments and let me know kind of what you want to see. And I'm happy to help. Hope you enjoyed.